away from you was it?
From me, it was probably 5-10 metres. Well, it was kneeling on the riverbank when we seen it, so I don't know its size. It didn't sort of stand up and rush us or anything. It just sort of growled as if, it was fucking hairy, that's for sure. A longish, really thick hair, like no animal skin I can think of that's got that same hair. It was a darkish brown to blackish.
Did you see arms or legs?
If you can imagine someone kneeling on one leg, like one knee's on the ground, others sort of protruded. There's one foot on the ground and one knee on the ground. It was sort of back hunched over and arms and that were hanging around sort of thing. Weren't doing nothing important.
Was the hair the same colour all over the body?
It got a little bit lighter brownish on the arms, which I don't know, probably been exposed to sunlight or something.
Now, did it have a big head or a small head?
It had a big head.
Shoulders, a neck, everything like that?
No neck. That's one thing I remember. It's like a bodybuilder, they got no necks.
You saw it from the back or from the side?
From the side.
As you were looking at it, you said it growled. Did you run off then? I mean, that was the thing you took off.
Got the fuck out of there, yeah.
Yeah.
Didn't know what it was, and well, the girls told me later they knew what it was, but...
What did they say?
And things that hang around now and again, you'll see them, and all this sort of thing, and don't worry about them, and all that.
Were they Aboriginal girls or sort of European, or...?
Yeah, they were European, but they grew up out there all their life. And, I'm Aboriginal. There's a mountain range behind our property, probably a couple of kilometres away, and there's all these rock art and everything there, sacred sites and that.
The rock art, it wouldn't be about these creatures, would it?
The normal North Queensland depiction of shore people.
Quinkans?
Yeah, the Quincan and what they call up that way, Taramulli as well.
Oh yeah, Taramulli, the giant Quincan, I know about him. Aboriginal, sort of, you talk to other Aboriginal people, do they know about these things as well up there?
Oh yeah.
What do they call them?
They just call them little hairy man.
What about the big ones?
And the big ones, they call them tall man, yeah.
Is there an Aboriginal word for it?
No, that's a pretty generic term. Everyone sort of said that and everyone knew what you were talking about. But if you spoke it in your language and the people who speak the language, you know what you're talking about, sort of thing.
Actually, getting back to the thing that you saw, would you say when it stood up it'd be the same height as a person, or taller or smaller?
Oh no, this thing's way bigger than a person.
If it stood up, what would you think it'd stand to?
7 foot, no dramas at all. One footprint I did find, we was out in the middle of nowhere, just herding sheep and goats into the paddock. And I was sitting in a creek one time and I just come across this little footprint, like a 5-year-old baby's footprint in the sand and out in the middle of nowhere. It had me intrigued. How did this little footprint get here?
What's the Aboriginal stories about the little creatures? Because I've heard them, but I mean, were there stories about them, or had you heard them before?
They're just little hairy man.
So tell me about your experiences with the little ones. Was that at the same place or somewhere else?
At the same place. That new house that we were building, we just put the brick walls up, made the rooms and just put the tin on the roof, and everything else was open. There was no doors, no windows, nothing like that. The room I was staying in, we had one of them blinds that you have to pull a cord to open, to bring it up, and you sort of pull another cord to bring it down, blind. And I was in bed and pulled the blind down one night, because I knew something was up. These little things were hanging around, I didn't know what, so I stayed awake one night. I heard them talking all their language, and I've never heard anything like it. It was bizarre.
Like you could hear a sound outside, or?
No, I could, in the hallway just outside the door, we had no doors or windows, but just outside I could hear them. There must have been a couple of them.
What did it sound like?
It's like Northern Territory talk.
So it was like an Aboriginal language kind of thing?
Yeah, it was, but it wasn't spoken the way we speak it. It was sort of like it comes from, sounds come from throat in a more, not like a verbal fashion we do, it's more sort of thing.
Okay. Were you the only person in the house at the time?
No, I was on the sound asleep. He didn't hear anything. And they were walking around. What they were doing, the little buggers, they were having fun that night. They would climb up a tree which was just outside our window, and they'd go up to the top of the roof of the house, and then they would roll down. You could hear them, and they'd hit the ground, and you'd hear them run around and climb up the tree again. One of them come in my room, and I had that blind, and I remember seeing that blind go up, and the blind go down. Blind go up, and the blind go down. Now, for something to do that, it's got to be pretty intelligent.
Yeah. Have you ever had a good look at one of these little things, or it's just they're around? It's more like that feeling kind of thing.
One of them came and paid me a visit one night.
What, in the room?
On Palm Island.
Okay, what happened there? That sounds kind of interesting. I mean, I've heard lots of stories of the little hairy men.
We were saying caravan and campfire and all that. And this one night I went to sleep. I sort of woke up and breathing like that, and I looked, and there's a little thing holding the annex open, or the only thing I could see was the outline of his body. He woke me up from a sleep, so I didn't know what it was, and I just hit the canvas, fuck off, you little... They went away and never seen it again.
So what did it look like? I mean, you said it looked like a monkey or a person, or, I mean, the shape?
It looked like a little child, like a 3-year-old. I've got 2 boys now, one of them's 4 and one of them's 3, and the 3-year-old looks about the size of this little hairy man.
Was the hairy man, was it hairy? I mean, did it...
Well, it was night time, I couldn't see. All I could see was the figure of its body and its smile and its eyes, which was really bizarre because the eyes they were sort of like, I don't know, glowing a little bit. They stood out from, you could actually see the smile in the eyes. I didn't smell anything at the time. They say they stink, but I didn't smell anything.
Do you often talk to people about what you saw and to different, like, Aboriginal people?
Yeah, I only talk to Aboriginal people about it. I try to talk to white fellas, but they're just, you're in fairyland, you're dreaming, bullshit, that sort of thing.
We got a lot of stories, I mean, lots of whites do see these things.
That's true too, but the ones that don't see it, and you try and tell them about it, they think you're from the fairies.
Aboriginal people in different places, are they all pretty open to it?
Most Aboriginal people around North Queensland will tell you there is the hairy man, because they all know it. When you get towards the Northern Territory way there, they're a bit secretive, them fellows. They know what that hairy man is, and they sort of, I don't know, they won't sort of share what they know.
Were there encounters with the small ones around Mingela, or only the big one?
The small ones too, like I said, in the bedroom, and I'm pulling the blinds up. They're mischievous, them little fellas. They play tricks with you. Yeah, at night, if they know you're awake, then they'll play around. They'll, just fuck with your mind, sort of thing. If you're scared, then they got you. They'll just make you more scared. But if you're inquisitive, like I was in that, and you start to question openly, and sing out, hey, what do you fellows want? They know what you're about, and they'll leave you alone, sort of thing. They'll only turn up when you sleep.
Yeah.
Which is one thing I found. They don't show up during the daytime. I don't know why.
Did any of the other neighbours have anything or see anything, or?
Yeah, they knew them, but they just sort of brush it off, sort of thing, It's like, well, yeah, whoopie-doo. Yeah.
Were these Europeans or Aboriginals?
Europeans. Yeah, they knew about it, and they just don't talk about it, don't really care. Think,
You call it hairy man, but did you get a feeling it was a man or animal?
It wasn't because it was kneeling like a man. It had, the knee joints and everything. It looked like a Homo, a Neanderthal or something like that. Not, but bushy, hairy, and definitely like how a person kneels down. This thing was kneeling like that. No animal does that.
And it was big?
It was big, yeah.
You think that big one, you heard it moving around the place?
Yeah.
Do you think there's a connection between the big fella and the little fellas?
Yeah, there is. There's a connection there. There's an Aboriginal ritual that you can go through to learn about them things and, become pretty much closer to
So that they'll come to you or whatever.
Yeah, well, like I left that food out and they come to me.
Some Aboriginals say these things we hear before the first Aboriginals arrived. Do you get any sort of feeling as to what they might be, or you don't think about that, they're just there and that's that? Or
They were a people.
So they were a people that were there or separate from the Aboriginals?
They would have been living amongst us. And then our population got too big, and there's dream fun stories where they chased them out of this way here. And there's a dreaming story that they got wild with their mob down here, and they chased them out of Victoria, and then New South Wales mob, they chased them north too, and the Queensland mob.
Were there like battles, or were there...
No, just chasing them, like big mob, chasing these things away, getting rid of them. And there's stories from all along the eastern seaboard, east coast of Australia. Just talking to them elders, I'll tell you that story. Any elders, really.
Oh, elders, yeah. They just lived alongside the Aboriginals, but separate, you know what I mean? Like, they were their own people.
Yeah, yeah.
The thing you saw looked pretty wild, you know, but did they have a language, or...
The big thing, I don't know whether he had a language or what, but them little fellas, they had a language and they were communicating with each other. Yeah, there was more than one there that night. Them little fellas got a language.
For a while, did the Aboriginals and these creatures get along okay? You know, they lived together?
Yeah, because they're strong, those little, the tall men and the little fellas, they're really strong. I don't know, the Aboriginal people, when they chased them out, must have feared them because of their powers, you know, their strength and everything like that, and chased them north. Yeah, I've heard lots of other stories from lots of Aboriginal people up in Queensland about them. My brothers and that, we were camping on Palm Island, going down to Wallaby Point. We're looking for bush tucker and verticum plums. I don't know if you know what they are, but they grow on palm, and my two brothers were there getting the verticum plums and off the ground, and they looked up in the tree, and there's a little area man sitting up in the tree looking down at them, eating them verticum plums too, and they reckon we just sort of froze, and so did it, and then it jumped out of the tree and took off, and didn't sort of harm them. It was just eating food like they were.
So there's lots of stories of the little ones on Palm?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, lots.
Are there stories of the big ones on Palm, or only the little ones?
No, there's big ones too.
On Palm Island?
Oh, yeah.
Have you heard people on Palm talk about them seeing the big ones, or is it more just that feeling that they're around?
No, there's lots of people see them.
Do you know what some of the specific names were around there? You know what the actual language group names were?
They used to call them Joogabina.
Joogabina.
Yeah.
Is that the big ones, or just both? You know what I mean? Just
both sort of thing. Yeah. Because they're both hairy ones. Only difference is one's big, one's small.
So that's Joogabina.